All right, my friends, you've been hearing me talk about the Genesis program through Rise of Kings, and I am incredibly excited to invite you to it as well as be a part of it. Rise of Kings has helped thousands of men over the last 5 years discover the reality of their identity, and now they have launched the Genesis program, which is for young men ages 13 to 17. And here's the idea. You as a father would take your son to this 2-day event to start to initiate a conversation and an awareness around what it means to be a man. But the conversation would really be between you and your son. And then after the 2-day event, once we expose your sons to the 4 pillars, to what it means to be a man, then we work with you and your son. I'm actually the coach for the mastermind program. You got Mondoe Davis, who does the 2-day event, incredible man, 11 children. He's currently working with his 16-year-old son. I'm working with my 16-year-old son. So you guys, this is fresh, this is real, this matters. So we want to invite you to the 2-day event with you and your son. And then after that, I'll be the coach for the 6-month mastermind, where I'm working with you every 2 weeks. And then I'm working with your sons every 2 weeks, with the idea that we're helping you to really step into what does it look like to help transition your son from a boy into a man. This is something you won't want to miss. It is worth the time, the resources to really help your son see who he is young and early, so that he can love, lead, serve a family and the kingdom moving forward at a young age. Please go to riseofkings.com/FFN to register. You and your son would love to see you in the program. All right. Happy Friday. What's up, my friends? This is your guide, Ned Shout. Welcome to Friday's episode, the Craft of Fatherhood podcast. I believe our role as fathers has the power to change the world simply by knowing who we are and embracing the adventure. On these Friday episodes, I try to keep it short, share some of my victories, some of my losses, some of my stories. So here you go. I had my friend Mondoe Davis on my podcast a couple weeks ago. We were talking about the Genesis program through Rise of Kings. We were also talking about how we each have a 16-year-old son and how we are working to call them into manhood, raise them into manhood. And one of the things that the Mondoe had shared with me was about asking anyone you have a relationship, really, but asking your son, your daughter, your wife, hey, if you were to rate our relationship 1 to a 10, what would you rate it as? And then listen to what they say thank you. Don't be caught off guard. Don't be upset. Don't justify. And then when they say it, like, what would it be? So this happened with my son. So I did this with my son. Like, what would you rate our relationship? He said a 7. It's like, hey, well, what could we do to get it to an 8? Like, what would that look like for us to get it to an 8? So it was a way to ask for some honest feedback from them. And now here's the thing. If you're going to do it, you have to implement whatever it is that, well, you don't have to, right? Because you could say, oh, well, okay, let's talk through this. So if it's like, well, if you gave me, Snapchat or TikTok or this, that, or the other for 26 hours a day, then it would be an 8. There could be unrealistic things, but if you feel like you're in a position to ask that question and they're at a relational maturity, then you should be able to ask the question. And from what I found with my son is sometimes we're so locked in, because I homeschool him, and we're so locked in on the homeschool and I don't want to say micromanaging, but checking in with him on these things, and then also his chores, and then also his sisters, that it was like, we just need more play time. And that wasn't his words, but just like more time that we're not doing anything. So trying to create that space. So opportunity for you to really check in with anybody that you have a relationship with. Now, if you're going to do this, another approach to this is a couple of good questions is like, hey, what am I doing that you loathe? Or what am I doing that you really wish I didn't do? And then wait for the feedback and don't justify it. But okay, thank you for that. What's something that you wish I was doing, or a way that you wish that we connected? Okay. And what's something that you love that I do? So let's see, there's probably a better flow to those. Okay. So, hey, if you and I are meeting right now and we're friends, or you're my kid or my wife, I go, hey, what's something that I want to connect on our relationship? Say you do the rating thing or you don't do the rating thing. I want to connect on a relationship. What's something that you love about our relationship that we do together? Okay, cool. Then in my mind, I'm like, I want to do more of that. Now, what's something that frustrates you, or that I do that bothers you, that maybe I'm unaware of, maybe I am aware, but something that I could make a shift for you? okay, get that feedback. And then, hey, what's something you'd love for us to do together? And so you're kind of getting what's working well, what's not working well, and what's a hope. And as you lean into that relationship, it's an opportunity to start to know them, know their view, and then how you can better walk alongside and establish depth of relationship with them. Now, I'm going to go on a total flip side on accountability. So I'm also leaning into working with my teenagers on accountability. And so, like, literally, I just had 2 hours with my son for school. For the most part, it was good. But then it's like, okay, we need to move forward. We got a 50-day sprint till school's over. And I want to help you to follow through on what you say you're going to do. And so then, if you're going to agree to this, then if you don't do it, there's a consequence. And the consequence is that your curfew's 45 minutes earlier, which really should just be an incentive to just close out the day and follow through like I'm asking you to do. But there, that would be an area where he left the office a little frustrated. But as I'm sitting in that, and I'm like, I don't want to talk about this, but it's helpful for me to talk about it, I guess, is to go like, because if I was coaching someone on this, I can't do everything that you are just going to 100% love and like tension and growth comes from, growth comes from some tension. And if I want to teach you an accountability, I have to have some ways to do that. Not just, will you do this? And we've tried that, right? So we're at a point where we've tried to do this for this whole school year and it hasn't worked. So we've got this 50-day sprint. Accountability is one of the big important things that I want to work on. And so this is a way that we could implement that. And I share it to go, one, man, I am working. And even after the conversation, I'm like, God, I spent hours figuring this out, going back to the drawing board, talking to him, and then coming to this conclusion. And it's like, I don't want to go back to the drawing board again. And there isn't a way to just get it perfect. There is no such thing. So there you go. Teaching our kids accountability. My question to you would be, depending on your kid's age, 5, 10, 15, what is it that they need from you? Is there anything that they could learn from you? And then understanding there's different stages, right? A 5-year-old, I have a bit more, I don't want to say force, but like I can make my 5-year-old do something. I can maybe make my 10-year-old do something. When you get to 15, it starts to become this, okay, it's influence. There may be consequences. There's inspiration. There's coaching, walking with, because I want to be careful not to strain the relationship to the point where my kids, like I want them to internalize what the lesson is here. And I would say at this point, this is really helpful for me to say out loud, because I don't think that my son is internalizing the lesson. He's externalizing that there's a consequence and to something that he hasn't followed through well on this school year. And it's something I want to teach him. So maybe I can communicate that with him a little bit, is like, let's separate this from school. Let's just talk about accountability. Like, being a man who is respected is a man who can be counted on. And right now you're 16 working on becoming that kind of man. Dude, it's so easy to say it here. So I encourage you guys, it sounds easy. You're listening to this podcast while driving or mowing your lawn or whatever it is you're doing. There is a lot of work that goes into this, but it's worth it. It's worth it. And so I encourage you to step into this. Like, even my kid's frustrated at me right now. He's frustrated at me, but I need to talk through this. I need brothers like you that we like rap about it. Sometimes we just need to say it out loud. And then we just got to keep fighting for their hearts and teaching them what it means to be a man so that they can love, lead, and serve a home well one day. All right, my dudes, I want to try to end these with an affirmation. So it's really important. Like, who do you say that you are? So you can repeat this after me, or you can skip through this. So I am the CEO of this family. I am here to listen, provide for, to protect, and to care for those that have been placed in my care. No one is going to do this for me. This is my opportunity, my responsibility, and my honor. All right, my friends, if these conversations are helpful, please write a review. Rate the podcast. It helps spread the word that fatherhood matters. Remember who you are. You are a father, and that matters big time. Together, let's rebel against the view that fatherhood has little impact, and let's create lives engaged in mastering the craft of fatherhood. Much love to you, my brothers. Together, we're changing the world. I look forward to hanging out with you next week.